I'm Dorothy Godin, broker through Max Crown Realty, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts. Had a very interesting conversation with a buyer yesterday. She called, wanted to know if one of my listings is still active and available, and I said it is. And the conversation would have been okay if she had left it at that, but instead she went on and on about how much she loved this house, how she loved the landscaping, she loved the gardens, she could see herself raising her family in this house. This is the house for her. I said, thank you very much. And she was going to call her realtor. Honest to God, that probably one of the biggest mistakes a buyer ever makes is calling the listing agent and talking about how much they love this house. She now, her poor realtor, has no negotiation ability whatsoever because I now know and my clients know that this person loves this house and wants this house. How is that buyer rep going to come in and try to negotiate anything when I have this knowledge? So please, if you're working with a realtor, have all your conversations and inquiries through your realtor. Do not call the listing agent because the listing agent is going to find out things that will not be in your best interest. So that just reminded me about what other things buyers need to keep in mind when they're looking for a house. And of course, one is, get your pre-approval. We need the pre-approval so we can set up realistic expectations. Make sure that you don't overextend your financing. Although the bank says, you're good for a mortgage of 600, keep in mind you need closing costs. You often need repair costs. There are moving costs. There are other costs other than your mortgage. So be careful not to overextend your financing. Please don't ignore doing a home inspection. If you're in a very fast market, which would, for us would be the under 500 market, you might want to do a pre-inspection before you do your offer. Yes, it's money you might be spending and not get back because you may not get that offer, but I think the inspection is very important. You need to go in with your eyes wide open. At the very least, bring another set of eyes, somebody who you trust, who knows construction, who knows plumbing, electrical. Like, you don't want to just go in blindly on a cash offer with no conditions unless you really, really are confident about that house. I think inspections are still very, very important. Do not make decisions that are strictly emotional. It's my job to kind of get you to see the pros and cons of that house in that area, and to kind of just, stabilize any kind of emotional buying. We don't want to buy just out of emotion. Do research the neighborhood that you are looking at. The other day I went to see a house, and when we drove up to the house didn't look too bad. It kind of needed a lot of repair, but the houses around the house were in disrepair. They needed a lot of work. The yards were not cared for, and this is important because you need to think about resale. And people will say, "Oh, I'm never going to move again. This is my forever house." People say that, and life happens, and people have to move. So you always do have to think about resale on a property that you're buying. And that is my job. My job is to look at a house objectively, give you the market research so that here's decent value on this house. And then, do we have a problem with resale? Is the resale limited? If you look at a one bedroom little house, it may be great for you now. Just remember that, when we go to sell that house, it's a much smaller market. So these things are very important. So as a buyer, I just encourage you to lean into your realtor, find a realtor that's a good fit for you, and really let them do the legwork. Don't be calling listing agents because you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. I hope you find this helpful. As always, you can reach me at Dorothy Godin at remax.net, sorry, or 705-561-2360. Have a great week.